Good evening. We can go ahead and get started with our meeting. This is Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. This is a regular meeting of the Cabell County Board of Education. I'd ask you to stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll get started with our special celebrations. Dr. Ashley Stevens.
Good evening, President Polly, board members, Superintendent Hardesty, Counselor Hornbuckle-Myers. It is nice to be with you guys. We have a lot to celebrate. You can tell we've got a full house from retirees to Skills USA to some seniors who really showed off. There is some really exciting things happening, and this is my favorite part of the year. We're at the part where we have culmination activities and we get to measure progress, and there is so much good stuff happening. So you don't need to hear from me. You need to hear about these cool people out here. We are going to begin with the Cabell County Career and Technical Center's Skills USA competition. They recently participated in the West Virginia Leadership and Skills Conference, and several of them won. We have a bunch. I'm going to invite Mr. Payton up to tell you a little bit about the competition and to invite his students and recognize them.
Good evening. My name's Bobby Payton from the Career Center. Skills USA is a big part of our community out there. We had probably around 32, 33 students competed in the state conference this year. With that, we had several gold, silver, and bronze winners. The two gold winners we have will be going to Atlanta next month for the national championship. So we're very proud of them. Some of them could not be with us today because, seniors being out and stuff, and someone had to work and stuff like that. So we do have several here with us today. So I want to recognize all of them, but especially introduce the ones that are here. Like I said, we competed from everything from collision repair to HVAC, criminal justice. Every class we up there pretty much sent someone to compete in. We'll start with we also had a student that went for state officer, and he actually got accepted on for a state officer. His name is Isaac Prince. He cannot be with us today. But we have our first gold winner, which will be going to Atlanta. She competed in screen printing. Her name is Jillian Nixon. You want to come up, Jillian? Trying to remember all these names, but our second one, and I'm probably going to get this wrong. Extemporaneous speaking, is that right? Riley Yeager. She won gold, so she will be going to Atlanta too. One that could not be with us today, she won silver in T-shirt design, would be Savannah Boland. Another one I'm kind of partial to, one of my students, he won silver in collision damage appraisal, Aiden Bailey. And the next ones I want to mention could not be here because of other engagements and stuff. For Job Skill Demonstration Open, this student won bronze. His name is Dylan Messinger. For HVAC, this student won bronze, Easton Setliff. For First Aid and CPR, this student won bronze, Gabe Mills. Then we had a team of crime scene investigators. They got bronze, and their name was Mackenzie Morrison, Madison Parker, and Kylie Groves. Very proud of these students, not just the ones that won these top three, but all of our students competed hard and gave all they had, and we're very proud of every one of them. But thank you all for y'all's time.
Great. Congratulations.
And if you guys will hang out, we'll do pictures, and I have inherited a phone. Tell me that again. Oh, you have a cohort to introduce, Mr. Hardesty said, your sidekick.
Oh, Mr. Actually, the gentleman back there with me, he is actually part of the ones, because I've actually stepped down from Skills USA this year. This will be my last year with them. I'm still going to help out, do whatever I can for Skills, but Mr. Charlie Vaughn, he is part of the group has taken over Skills and hopefully lead it to more and better things. Thank you.
We have 4 seniors who have just kind of checked some of the top boxes of the highest levels of achievement that are available to them. And I'm super excited to be able to celebrate 4 of them today. We've also had military assignments. We have had academic scholarships. We have had athletic signings. It's just a really cool time for our seniors, and they are really proving that you can go anywhere from here. Using Cabell County Schools as a springboard, there is no limit to what they can do, and these 4 really exemplify that. So I'm excited to introduce them to you. First is Claire C.J. Johnson. She's a Yeager Scholar recipient. You guys are familiar with the Yeager Scholarship at Marshall University. She's from Huntington High, and she will receive full tuition, fees, room and board, stipend for textbooks, and a personal computer. She will also get to participate in a foreign language proficiency option with some possible study abroad and 4 interdisciplinary seminars. She will have a chance also to study in Oxford, England. So CJ, are you here? Okay, I didn't see her come in, but we are very excited. Which kind of practice do you think? Yep, probably a practice. Another one, yeah, absolutely. I have not yet seen Tristan Hornbuckle. Okay, Sharon's going to talk for Hornbuckle family. But imagine being a senior in high school and not only, receiving all of these accolades, but also receiving acceptance into medical school. That's bananas. But that is exactly what has happened for Tristan. He was accepted into Marshall University's BSMD program. It's an accelerated Bachelor's of Science and then medical program. It is an exceptional opportunity, and we are really excited about the doors that this will open. And Ms. Hornbuckle-Myers.
Mr. Hornbuckle, had an engagement at 5 o'clock and an engagement at 6:30, but he truly appreciates the recognition. We have a doctor of physiology in the family, but this is our first doctor of medicine we're going to have, so we are stoked, and he has no idea all the phone calls he's going to get and all the questions he's going to have, but he'll be fine.
We also have here this evening a National Merit Scholarship recipient. Joseph Farrell from Huntington High School has been rewarded this Merit Scholarship. It is $2,500, but the selection process is incredible. These are the top, very slim percentage of students, and it's based on academic records, test scores, an essay, demonstrated leadership and contributions to the school and community activities, and the school official's written recommendation and characterization of the finalist. So this was, an all-encompassing type of application, and we are very excited that he is here. Joseph, would you like to say a few words?
I guess really, first off, I want to thank all the teachers I've had over the years. Even as far back as middle school, I know I saw Dr. White here, who was essential to my early math progress. Would not have gotten those test scores without that kind of thing. Really just all of my teachers and to all the people who support those teachers, just really ensuring that I had all the skills I needed in order to actually succeed in these tests, so I could even be given the opportunity to go from a semifinalist to a finalist, and that's really all.
And to round out our senior showcase, we have Ms. Gabriella Robertson. She received a perfect score on her ACT. She's from Cabell Midland High School, and this test, as you guys know, covers reading, mathematics, English, and science, and less than 1% of the students who take the ACT receive a perfect score. So I'm going to invite Gabriella up for a minute.
Hi, I would just like to thank all of my teachers and my family for helping me in my education and in order to achieve this goal. So that's all.
Next up, we have some students who I feel sure are on their way to being amazing seniors, but right now they're 8th graders. And they are Knights of the Golden Horseshoe. As you guys are familiar, that is the 8th grade West Virginia history test, and it is a chance for them to show off everything they know. These things are exceptionally competitive. I will tell you, in my family, there is one Knight of the Golden Horseshoe, and it's not me. And I still hear about it on a very regular basis. So I'm really excited for these kids and the bragging rights that will come with this for them for decades, I hope. Gorgeous Easterling from Huntington Middle School, Eli Brandlin from Huntington Middle School, Madison Jordan from Milton Middle School, Aiden Weiser from Milton Middle School, Aubrey Jett from Milton Middle School, Leland McComas from Milton, and Brooklyn Fannin from Milton. Is anybody here and would like to speak? The floor is yours. Okay. We're just real excited for them. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Hardesty.
We're good. Good evening, board members. This is a different view, but hello. I want to share a couple of pictures with you all and all of our audience members because I started thinking about what will 650 years give you and what could you do with 650 years? So, Mr. Jackson, what you see in front of you on the screen is the Cologne Cathedral in Cologne, Germany. It is a Gothic masterpiece. It's considered that. We have an interior view of it. Took 650 or about 632 years to build that. Absolutely an amazing structure. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. So another thing 650 years will give you is what it took about, well, shouldn't say that, but for about 650 years, 650 years ago is when the European explorers sought faster trade routes to Asia from Europe. You know, here we are and still learning at board meetings. So then I thought, what else could you get for 650 years? And so if I could have our retirees that are here this evening, please stand for a moment. It gives you over 650 years of service to our students, and that is absolutely amazing. I started looking at that, and if you look at the agenda, it's not a very long list. 659 years of service is just truly amazing, and I thank each and every one of them. It is my honor and pleasure to present them with a certificate and thank them for their service. Sharon Thompson. Thank you. Patricia Chatterton. Lisa Harbor.
Thank you.
Dennis Harshbarger. Greg Queen. Teresa Ray. I know you're going to. Congratulations. You're going to say a few words. That's okay. You can. It's all right.
I just want to take this opportunity to thank this wonderful board and Cabell County for opening lots and lots of doors for me. I just love children. And after 30 years, I can still love them and beyond. I have grandkids I'm going to spend lots of time with. But I just want to thank everyone and the wonderful coworkers that I've worked with over the years and teachers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Janet Skaggs, Staggs, I apologize. Janet Staggs. Patricia Blake. Absolutely. Absolutely. You can move
I
the
have
mic if you
to.
want to.
I have to tell you that when Sharon Hornbuckle was 5 years old, I used to pay her $5 to clean my bookshelves at the end of the year. So I don't think she paid taxes on that. So y'all might want to check on it.
Gail Boone. Terry Crow.
Thank you.
Nope. Thank you. Teresa Crum, or I call her Kaz. So.
No, I don't. No.
Stephen Freeman.
All I want to say is I am so proud of the 3 Huntington High School students that were my students and my former students that are here. That's what makes this job worth it, are the students.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it. Dale Martin. Kim Maynard. That'll be good night. Angel Perry. Rachel Ramey. I promise we invited them. Lillian Sargent. Mary Cook. I'll cry with you. Come on. I'll cry with you. You don't want to say anything at all?
Just
Come on. Even if you're at a loss for words, go ahead.
thanks. I just want to thank you all for the opportunity you've given me. So many doors have been opened. I've got to do some amazing things for Cabell County Schools. So I want to thank you for all you do, all of you. Thank you.
Tracy White.
Yeah.
36 years driving a bus, and he's still sane. So.
I just want to say, when I went to school, my bus driver was a big influence on me. And so that's why I ended up driving the bus. I've had kids come to my farm, visit me, help me on the farm. They went on vacation with us. And I've had 5 kids that rode my bus that are now school bus drivers here in Cabell County. So it's been a great experience. Thanks.
Charles Justice. Herb Redmond. That concludes the list. I truly thank the board members for allowing us to take a few minutes to celebrate our retirees. They are amazing. It's just hard to believe that that group was 659 years of service to students. Thank you.
All right, Fred, so we're going to do photos in the same order that we did celebrations. So we're going to start with Skills USA.
smiling.
I bank at the credit union, and one of the women, I've been going there for years and years, she said, "Are you something on the?"
Are you something? Yeah, I'm some. Speaking about
Property.
all something about all positive. Parent partner or something.
All of them are?
We'll go ahead and keep moving on to 2.02 and updating instruction and leadership services. Ms. Kelly Watts.
Good afternoon, President Pauley, Superintendent Hardesty, board members, Ms. Hornbuckle Myers. I am actually going to turn it over to Mr. Jason Jackson for the technology update.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Raines was reminding me that my presentation is actually in your books as well, right after the agenda, if you want to follow along with that. So, good evening, President Pauley, superintendents, board members. I have a brief update this evening. It has to do with technology and information updates as we reach the end of the school year. So we're at the time of year where we're trying to talk about device collection. So what we're doing this year is we have the senior MacBooks, as we always do. They're collected every year about this time. The schools had to stretch them out a little bit this year as we had AP testing and some other things wrapping up on that side of it, but they did manage to get all that accomplished as we head into graduation later this week. Some of the seniors are allowed to purchase their MacBooks. The prices vary depending on the age of the device they have. Predominantly, those are going to range between $240 and $290, just for your information. 99% of those will fall in that range. There's a couple of outliers there that were there before. The last board meeting, by the way, you approved an item for a buyback from a vendor. The remaining devices, there were 742 senior devices deployed this year that were MacBooks. Those remaining devices will be sold to the vendor at the end for a potential return to the district of $177,000 plus. Quite honestly, I don't anticipate getting $177,000 back because these devices have been in kids' hands now for 3 to 4 years at the minimum. Plus, some of them will be purchased. Realistically, though, the contract that we negotiated will guarantee us, if they received all of them, about $132,000 instead. We'll see how it turns out. I will tell you that it will be somewhere close to that. We might be a little bit more, a little bit less, but it will be somewhere in that neighborhood on the total on that. Our 8th graders this year, as they move into the 9th grade, next year they will receive a 9th grade iPad as they start their high school careers. The 8th grade iPads will be collected, cleaned up, wiped of all data, and be prepared to go back to the kindergarten as we reach the next school year instead. Our technicians will take care of all that. That device collection is underway already in our middle schools and will be completed before the last day for students this year. But that's where we stand on our end of the year device collection. Do you have any questions about any of that? This year, we had a lot of deployments. Last summer, if you remember correctly, we deployed brand new iPads to all K through 8, and we deployed 9th graders new MacBooks. That number is about 13,500 devices that were deployed across the district. About 2,500 to 3,000 of those would have been remaining in the students' hands from the seniors to begin with. Of all those devices, the problem is, and I hate to put this on the list, but there's always going to be repairs. Things do get broken. It kind of occurs that way. The nice thing about when I started looking at the data over the past week and a half to 2 weeks, it looks like we only had about a 4% breakage rate for this year. If you look at what happens in other districts around the nation, that typically comes down to about a 6 to 8% breakage rate instead. So our students have done a really wonderful job in making sure they take care of the devices we issue to them. They use them for learning purposes. It was a big, big surprise to me. Some of these things that I did mention with the superintendent earlier, there were some devices we never even deployed, some MacBooks that had been sitting on the shelves, and the batteries went bad. So we actually had to pay for the battery repair because they were over a year old. And I did subtract that from the number, but roughly at 4% of damage for that, I feel really good about how the kids did this year with all those. For next year, this was approved last spring, actually. Our Category 1, this is our connection between all of our schools and WVD in Charleston, which is where we actually receive our internet connections for all of our buildings. The Category 1 contract that I negotiated last year actually increased the speed at every single school at least 10 times. Mr. Pauly will remember a few years ago, Cabell was kind of flagged for having some of the slowest internet in the state. Over the past 3 years, that has changed. We are going to have 10 gig connections for each of our schools all the way across the board as the Woody Williams comes on board as we halfway through the next school year. It'll be the last one to come on. We will not get full bandwidth from the state of West Virginia. They can't allow us to have that much, but we'll be very, very close to it. It's not so much the speed as the pipeline, and that's the way I like to describe it. You know, if you have a pipeline this big versus a pipeline that's this big, it's a lot more data can flow through it. So I'm really happy that's going along, and it's going to happen this year. The second part of that is what I'm even more happy about is that the cost to the district is just a little over half what we were paying for the slower connections before. We previously were about $365,000 a year for all of our connections in our buildings. Next year, we're going to be at $186,000 instead, of which 90% will be reimbursed to the district anyway as we go through. Pretty happy about that. The last thing on that is that the SIPA compliance, we make sure all of our students receive training on how to act when they're online and about. Our schools are wrapping that up right now, and it's getting reported as we speak, so we'll have all that completed. The other item that was on the last board agenda was the Category 2 funds, and these are for hardware that we put in the buildings. So you approved those two items. Meadows Elementary was about an $80-some thousand purchase, and it's going to cost Cabell County because it's an 85% reimbursement instead. It'd be in the high 70s instead. And Woody Williams is a much larger facility with over $400,000 in network switches, access points, and associated cabling, of which we'll only have to pay 85%. We'll get 85% reimbursement on that. Those items are ordered. I'm waiting. I was hoping to give you an estimated arrival on that. It's kind of more important for Meadows than it is the Woody Center right now, but I anticipate seeing those sometime in early to mid-June at this time. There's also some other technology transitions as we move into New Meadows and the new Career Tech Center for next year. We'll be installing new monitors in both buildings. We won't recycle them unless we have to. We'll provide new printers to all the classrooms. Apple TVs, of course, so they can stream things wirelessly instead, like I'm doing right now, and any other little associated problems. We will move phones from the schools to make sure that they're all set up in there, in addition to the back-end stuff that really nobody ever sees, which was a part of the Category 2 funding. As we go into the summer, there's some things that our guys will be up to. They'll be going into all of our data closets. Believe it or not, some of our schools have as many as 10 to 12 data closets in them, the larger schools. Our guys will be going and doing maintenance, making sure that things are cleaned up, everything's where it needs to be, double-checking connections, doing those kind of items. Some modifications that we need to go through the summer, fix up anything that we know we have to address that's kind of get put on the back burner, because when students are in the building, it's really hard to do some of these things at times, especially when you're making a lot of noise. Some things doing with our budget, there's some grant applications that have come across my desk, and one is the COPS SVPP grant. Our middle schools, except for one, are kind of in need of some new intercom systems and bell schedules. They're not in dire need, but it's one of those things that this came about. And with this grant, depending on the total cost of it, Cabell County Schools will only do up to a 5% match at the most. We'll have to wait and see what the price point comes in. If it comes in where I think it will be, we'll probably be in the neighborhood of $5,000 to $7,000 of investment for this. We can also change the commitment on our side as well. It is a competitive grant, is the only thing bad about it, so there's a chance we will not get it, but I'm at least going to make the effort to see if we can come up with some updates for our school system. And the last one is the West Virginia Cybersecurity Grant. This one does not require any match from the school system. Right now, I'm looking at that for a potential training opportunity for our teachers. The biggest weakness we have in our school system currently is our users looking at emails and clicking on things they shouldn't click on, is the bottom line. This includes students, staff, the people in this room for that, honestly. I'm guilty of looking really quick and having to make sure that I don't click it as well. What this will do is kind of provide some feedback to the district to let us know what's happening. It will also provide training on demand if somebody does something that is not what we want. It gives them the immediate feedback and the content needed so they can improve themselves for the future, at least in our staff members. And then over the summer, we'll have device deployment. In this case, we'll be deploying back out the 8th grade iPads to kindergartners, and then the new 9th graders, of course, will have new iPads coming to them as we go through the year. And do you have any questions for me as we reach the end of the year? Thank you all.
All right, we'll move on to 2.03, an update in operations and support. Mr. Boggs.
Good evening, Board President Polly, Board Members, Superintendent, General Counsel. Just have a brief update today on a couple items regarding the board agenda and some policies. So the first reading policies is policy 8120, volunteers, just a minor change on that. And that is just to be consistent with legislation requiring that we are using an appropriate vendor that is approved by the West Virginia State Police for our volunteer background checks. The second one is second reading is 2370.02, embedded credit that we had talked about last week. And third reading and possible approval tonight is 9160, public attendance at school events, which outlines to allow bingo in a school setting. So those are just our policy updates for tonight. Now, there's a lot of information on here, but if you look in your agenda on 4.05, and that is Hazlett Construction Change Order Number 5, Milton Elementary. And what this is this just finishes up the building at Milton Elementary, and one of the last change orders kind of wrap this up so we can make the final payment on this. And what we needed is sometimes when the fire marshal comes in and they start inspecting the buildings, they're going to point out certain things that we need to take care of in that building. And one of those was emergency lights in the restrooms, that if the electric goes off or there's fire or something, still have the ability to be able to see in the building. Lights in the stairs, that was actually added at owner request, that there is a light in the overhead part of the stairwell going in. We needed to make an accommodation for an employee as far as paint color in a room. Smoke duct detectors, sensors, this was required by the fire marshal to make sure that there is no type of smoke in any kind of ventilation in the system, so that we'd be notified by that. There was also ADA operators, the automatic doors that open if someone is disabled or in a wheelchair to go in and out of the building, and as well as moving an electrical panel from the nurse's station to another closet over down the hallway by the elevator in the building. And this total for this final change order to wrap up this complete project is total of $54,142. So the next item is 4.09, and that is bleachers and basketball goal maintenance contract. And this is with R.H. Huffman, a vendor out of South Charleston, West Virginia. And what this does is annual inspection for interior bleachers and basketball goals. We are required by the state to have our bleachers inspected. You don't want to have any kind of a catastrophic event when you've got 500 or 600 students at Cabell Middle or Huntington High School on one side, or even close to 1,000 on one side of the gymnasium. And what this does is they go in, they check all of the bolts, the motors, different things like that. If it's something minor, they go ahead and fix that as well. If it's a little more major, then they will send us a quote on what it would cost to fix that. So it's risk management as well, working with Tim Stewart. He does an amazing job with us. One of the things that he requests that we do to be compliant with this. They also check our basketball goals and our curtains in our gyms that come down from the middle to split the gymnasiums up to ensure, and our mats that are for wrestling, that some of the schools actually have hoists and pulleys that bring them down for storage. So it's just a safety issue that we're required to do. We also have the 4.10, the purchase of furniture at the new Meadows Elementary School. This is the total furniture cost of $739,640.93. The way this was purchased this year was on state contract through Capital Business Products. There was state contract and other cooperative purchasing that we were able to use through them. That's already met the requirements for proper bidding requirements and different thresholds. So what they did is they were able to put a package together, get feedback from all of the staff members at Meadows Elementary, working with the administration and the central office and the teachers. They brought a group of teachers down, selected that furniture, and we went through it multiple times to ensure that's what they need for the school. There are a couple little things that we may have to go back and get, as far as a petition to go up in the art and music room, soundproof petition that's mobile unit, so they can open it up or close it as needed. So that is one item that we were not able to get on this contract. It did not meet something that could be purchased on a state contract or a cooperative purchasing that we could find at this time. So on to 4.11, that is the approval of a lease agreement with the state of West Virginia for a tower site. So one thing that when I came in this position, I didn't realize that we own some property out in Barker's Ridge, about approximately 40 acres. And on that property, there are 2 towers. One of them is, I talked to Nazem earlier today just to clarify this, and one of those things is the emergency management has 1 tower that's on that property, and West Virginia Public Broadcasting has a tower on that property. And what this is just to extend the lease agreement for that through 2064 at a cost of $1 a year to the district. I remember they actually reached out, an attorney with the state of West Virginia reached out and said that they owed us some money, and when I found out it was $11 is what they owed us. So, Drew, sorry about that, but the check's in the mail. So on to 4.12, new car lift. This is a 2-post lift for the transportation complex. What we're actually doing, and this is kind of a safety concern, we've got sometimes in our garage down here at the central office that work on the trucks and the fleet and maintenance and stuff like that. For the district, we're going to actually, these lifts, they have a lifespan and they have to be rated for certain things. We're actually going to install a new one up the transportation complex. But along with that, when we move the maintenance garage from down here up there, it also really helps us out as having extra folks in the bus garage that are already working on buses. We have some lifts that we can use, but you have a different lift for vehicles and you have a different lift for trucks and buses and different things like that. So it's really going to be able to help us out that we're going to have extra eyes on those folks when they're working underneath those vehicles to really help us out going into next year. The other last item on here is that we actually at the LSIC meeting at Cabell Middle and High School, when we had a group of folks that were concerned about the lighting and sound system regarding all of the events that were going on at Cabell Middle and High School. I mean, we're happy to announce that the lights were out there and they spoke on that item. We were able to get Creative Audio out and do a short-term fixture at the end of the year, because as you know, with our high schools, there's an enormous amount. They're living and breathing all year, every single day, weekends, nights, and during the day with events going on. So we were able to get them up and running temporarily and be able to rent some lights from them. However, we also know that is just a temporary fix. We need to really we really need to be able to do this correctly. And I know on the CEFP there were certain things that had been mentioned regarding the upgrade to our auditorium. However, Mr. Jackson is amazing when it comes to technology, but we are not experts. He's pretty darn close, but we are not experts in lighting and sound. So it's very, very important that we contract with someone, being Creative Audio, to be able to do a request for proposals to ensure that whatever we do, that we do it correctly. It's done by specs. We can give them the blueprints and the drawings from Cabell Middle and High School to ensure whatever we do to get this up and running is going to be planning for the future. We don't want to go in make upgrades to this, and then 5 years down the road, say, now we're ready to do some upgrades to the auditorium, and then have to take everything back out. That we do not want to do that. So this is, we do believe that this would be $4,800 to ensure that it's done correctly by professionals that do this for a living. So are there any questions on any of these items, or anything that I can clarify for you?
Well, just a small thing about the paint in one room. What was that deal? What was that about?
We just had, I don't want to, is it okay? I just want to make sure.
We had a request that we needed to fill due to ADA requirements, so.
Oh,
Due to the color on the wall.
okay.
I just didn't want to identify anybody.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
All right, we'll move on to 2.04, communications from the superintendent, Mr. Hardesty.
Thank you, President Polly. As we saw this evening, yet again, we celebrated some of our high school students. So the best way to describe this is, if you can name it, our seniors have achieved it this year. Watching the end-of-year celebrations for the class of 2025 has been an amazing reminder of what is possible when students work hard and are supported by families and teachers who believe in them. Students in our district have celebrated military academy appointments, internships, athletic signings, scholarships, certification completion, ACT scores, National Merit Scholars, Jaeger Scholar, and a candidate for the BSMD program at MU, which we celebrated this evening. We are incredibly impressed, proud, and not at all surprised by all of this year's achievements. We are grateful to have been part of their successful stories as they look forward to what the future holds for them, and there is no doubt it's going to be bright. Board members and parents, we really encourage you to celebrate this time with our students. And most of our students right now would tell you that this is their favorite time of the year because it's close to the end, it's close to summer. However, it's a season of concerts, showcases, learning highlights, field trips, and much more. Our students and staff have worked hard this year, and we're grateful that they are enjoying the opportunities to celebrate what they've learned and make memories with their friends before the school year comes to an end. As your schedule allows, please, and I encourage you to go out and enjoy those as they're published and celebrated. It's amazing to see what our students can do. One of those took place today at Mountain Elementary. I had the pleasure of being there. It was the published author red carpet event. It was amazing. Our students, they have classes of newly published authors in 4th grade. They had their book there. A few of them read their poetry. And it was absolutely amazing to see that, and we celebrated with their family and their friends. So proud of their work. Can't wait to see what they produce next year. We've had CCCTC completer ceremony. That was recently celebrated for those students who completed one or more CTE programs. Each program provides students with certifications and job skills and prepares them for in-demand jobs in our local workforce. Completion of a CTE program requires a measure of maturity, work ethic, and practical skills that we know will serve them well as they graduate and advance in their careers. Last year, we celebrated a MEDEX pinning ceremony for students who completed the MEDEX program and those that are getting ready to go into the MEDEX program, which is a collaboration with Education Alliance and Marshall Health Network. Students are able to receive school credit while gaining on-the-job training and even paid internships as part of the MEDEX program. We also had a group of students last week that were recognized by Nucor Steel. Several of the students from the CTE programs, and it was 3 programs that actually worked together to create a submission to the Nucor Steel of West Virginia Ken Iverson Steel Sculpture Contest, and ours won. The piece entitled Explore West Virginia is now on display at Nucor. It was an amazing time to see that and to see those 3 different groups come together and produce one structure. Each school that participated was given 500 pounds of Nucor steel to create a sculpture that embodies West Virginia, and ours came up with an amazing design. It was beautiful. Cabell Midland High School Grow Your Own Educator celebration was also this morning, and the program presented posters about their learning as part of their dual credit education courses. It was great to celebrate that, and we look forward to welcoming them into our workforce in the very near future. A few more exciting things that have happened. Hometown Heroes. You know, it's great when we have some of our employees every now and then they get recognized as hometown heroes, but we have several recipients of that and the Golden Apple. We've had Ed Harkless, Coach Williams, Richard Williams, and Susan and Jack DeFazio. So we've had not one but 4 recently in our district who have been recognized for their exceptional contributions to our community. WSAZ recently recognized Jack and Susan DeFazio with their decades of work with Special Olympics. Coach Williams at Vogue was recognized as hometown hero for his leadership with the jump rope team. And Ed Harkless was also recognized as a hometown hero for his long career supporting musical arts in our area. I want to thank each of them for all they've done for our schools and each of us along the way. We held a 2-day Strive conference. Actually, WVDE held a 2-day Strive conference here in Huntington. And we had several different counties that participated. We had 2 teams of educators there and working through these special education with, demands and ideas as we go forward and the different resources that we have available to us as a district. So looking ahead, we have graduation this week. It's hard to believe it's already here. This Thursday is Cabell Midland High School, and Friday evening is Huntington High School. Meadows Elementary is ahead of schedule. The original day was supposed to be late October for substantial completion. We anticipate that we will be opening Meadows at the beginning of school year with our students in there. We have professional development days, May 29th through June 3rd. And so we're looking forward to working together with our staff to refine our skills on standards-based instruction, our multi-tiered system of support, and school-based interpretation and assessment data and vertical alignment. So May 28th will be our last day for students. It's a regular school day. And June 4th is the last day for 200-day employees for the summer. And then June 10th is our LPN graduation at the Career Center. A lot of things going on right now. I do need to ask the board to, I just passed out a form here. We did have a large agenda this evening. We have a lot of people that have moved around and people that have bid on the large posting. We have summer school postings in there. And with that comes a few human errors, and we do have a few there. I just need to point out 4.06 on page 7. Those are materials for pre-K curriculum. That should read $118,923. Not $114,305. Item number 51, I see some of you writing, I'll wait. That was on page 7. On page 15, we have item number 5198. It's towards the bottom. It's the transfers. You'll notice the effective date says August 6, 2024. I'm going to assume that everyone there would like for that to say August 6, 2025. It's in the bold type in the item itself. This one right here.
It's 59.
Near the very bottom.
5199.
Oh, I said 5198. It's 5199. Thank you. Another typo. On page 18 and on page 20, there's 2 here, but they're both under 5201P, and these are summer school positions. On page 18, SS 1401 on number 2 of 2, that name needs to be changed to Jamie Davis. (1401) 2 of 2. Should read Jamie Davis. And then on page 20, item 3504. The name should be Robert Cook, C-O-O-K-E. And there is one more, it's on page 23. It's the service personnel resignation, number 5142S. Michael Terry's effective date should be 5/8 instead of 5/7/2025. And while we're on the agenda itself, I just want to take a moment and explain something that I know that some of our employees have been frustrated with. It has caused some frustration for us as well, and we understand their plight. In years past, we've had a lot of positions because we had the influx of the COVID money, so we had a lot more summer school positions. This year, we don't have quite as many of those. And due to that, there's a lot of competition for the positions. But one thing that we have also been told, the way the code reads and through the process that we have to use, is we have to look at those who bid the number of days they've actually worked in summer school experience. And so every applicant for any of those positions, we've had to pull their personnel file and go through and find out just what jobs they've had in the past. Because if you look at them, they're all different days. Some are a week-long camp that give you a Friday to plan before the camp. Some are a week-long camp during West Virginia Day, so it's only 4 days. And then there's a day to prep before. So we had to go through and count all those by hand on every applicant. And every year they've done it to get the number of days of seniority they have for summer school. And so that's led to some human error. We've tried to correct that and watch that and double check that. But as you can imagine, every job that has multiple applicants, it has just taken some time to do. We apologize for the frustration. We hope to do better. We are working on that. And I do apologize for that. But it's been a very cumbersome process for our personnel department. It's completely different in service personnel, the way the laws are written, but in professional, it goes by the number of days. And so I apologize for the frustration that anyone has felt if they have. We share your pain, and we're trying to do better, and we apologize if we've made a mistake, and we've had to correct it. So that concludes my update.
All right. Thank you. We'll move on to 2.05, delegations to be heard. I believe we have some people who have signed up.
We have several here. Our first one is Cordelia Morris.
Hello, my name is Cordelia Morris. I am a student at Huntington Middle School, and my teacher for Advanced English Language Arts is Miss Jennifer Sowards, and she is currently fighting a battle to keep her job. Because her job description was changed, that means that according to state law, her job is now up for bid, which means that anyone can take it and she'll be relocated unless she is able to convince the Board of Education to repeal their decision. With this news delivered to me earlier, I feel the need to take a stand and help her stay with us. I have to say that Miss Sowards is an incredible teacher. She is kind and caring, and she is nice to us, and she gives us candy when we're being good. She is one of the main authority figures I feel comfortable talking to. This trait is incredibly important to help building relationships with students like she has with all of us. It is also important that her work is both interesting and engaging. I've learned as much, maybe more, in her class than any other. I've learned about persuasive and informative writing, narratives, and even a bit of law from the mock trial we're currently doing. She's also incredibly supporting of us with our flexible seating and our ability to sit around the room. This provides a safe and calming work environment for all of us and can help us be more productive. Overall, Miss Sowards' class is one of my favorites, and I look forward to it every day. She may not be perfect, but she's perfect for me. So, for all people and Miss Sowards, I'd just like to say, let my favorite teacher keep her job. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Margaret Conway.
My name is Margaret Conway, and I'm a student at Huntington Middle School, and I'm in 6th grade. For the past 9 months, Miss Jennifer Sowards has been my English teacher, and I hope she would be for the next 2 years if you can repeal your decision of relocating her. She's been an amazing teacher for me in English. We've done a bunch of big projects. We've read 2 books. We're doing a mock trial this Thursday. We've done the Young Writers Contest and the Literature Fair. She's been an amazing teacher for us, and I just really hope you can let her keep her job.
Rashawn Brown. I have a handout to give on
Good evening, board members. I'm Rashawn Brown. This is Pastor B.J. Roberts and Rashad Sanders. We are here representing Kingdom Life Fellowship Church from 405 First Avenue South, Nitro, West Virginia. And we are here about what would be the Old Meadows Elementary School. A quick introduction to who we are. Kingdom Life Fellowship Church is a Christ-centered, multicultural, community-focused ministry. We're currently located in Nitro, West Virginia. And as we continue to grow and seek better to serve the people of Cabell County, we are presenting this proposal to use the Meadows Elementary facility for the purpose of community outreach, spiritual growth, social development. And this document that we passed out is our vision for the facility and the positive impact it will have on the surrounding community.
I'm next. Good evening, board members, superintendent. Just a brief overview of what you already have in hand. We're looking at doing a lot of the same things that we already do at our campus in Nitro, which includes a lot of community outreach events. We do a monthly milk and bread giveaway, coat drives, backpacks, school supplies, a permanent clothing closet, and a permanent food pantry that would be open on a weekly basis to help serve the community. An after-school community center to help with homework, tutoring, computer internet access, mentorship programs. Food will be provided for that as well. Also, we're looking at opening up a daycare. A portion of the facility would be designated as a fully functional licensed daycare with full-time, part-time staff, age-appropriate activities for all the kids. And then number 4, something that we like doing up in Nitro, it's a community fall fest, we call it. It was a safe alternative, particularly on Halloween, where we have carnival-style games, rides, inflatables, food trucks, refreshments, music, you name it. Everything will be completely free that we would do, and that's just one of the many events that we would look at doing there at that campus. Number 5, I'm going to bring Rashad Sanders up. I know number 5 is very meaningful to him, seeing he already drives from Huntington to Nitro and has been for 5 years for church.
Good evening, board. Campus expansion for Huntington congregants. Many of our congregants reside near Huntington or travel from the Ashland area or near to go with the Nitro to our campus. The facility will serve as an extension of our Kingdom Life Fellowship Church there in Nitro, West Virginia. And we're talking about Sunday morning worship services, your midweek Bible study, which is a recharge, leadership and development classes that'll help cultivate skills and qualities necessary for effective leadership. Weekly prayer meetings and spiritual counseling. Those could be very valuable to individuals facing trauma, grief, or difficult experiences. The expansion will relieve travel burdens, accommodate growth, and foster deeper engagement with the Huntington community. I'm going to jump down to number 6 for job creation and volunteer opportunities. Utilizing the facility will also create employment opportunities and volunteer positions with local community members. This is going to staff an after-school program and also outreach events, administrative support roles, maintenance and custodial positions, outreach and hospitality team members, volunteer opportunities for students, retirees, and community service participants. This approach not only meets the needs of our community, but also empower local residents by offering meaningful ways for them to contribute and develop income, and also to earn income with the Innovation District and everything going on Hal Greer. It'd be a great opportunity for people to be able to volunteer and also to get jobs and better their lives.
And in closing for us, Kingdom Life is committed to being a beacon of hope and service and transformation in every community we touch. And with access to the vacant facility, we will be able to significantly increase our ability to serve Cabell County through structured programs, spiritual development, and practical assistance. And we appreciate your consideration and welcome the opportunity to partner with the Cabell County Board of Education in revitalizing this space for the good of the community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Greg Morris.
How y'all doing?
I came to lend my support to Miss Howards. I'm Greg Morris, Cordelia's father. She came home from school today. I met her at the bus stop. We walked back. I said, "How was school?" She said, "Leave me alone. I got work to do." Went up to her room, shut the door. 4 o'clock comes out, says, "I'm ready to go, school board, 4:30. It was a fairly articulate speech, I thought. She has a fairly good grasp of the English language, and she has since she was 8 months old. She has performed off the charts in English all of her life. Even in preschool, she could already read probably at a 3rd or 4th grade level. The reason for that is because of English teachers. Not English teachers that she had, but English teachers that I had and that her mother had, who nurtured us through school so that we became parents, we could then get her a good start in life in English. So, for her to advance from this point forward, she needs the best. I can't tell you how lucky I've been in my life to have had great English teachers throughout my education. My science teachers and my math teachers, unfortunately, were kind of average, but my English teachers were far above par, all the way through elementary school, high school, and college. So now what do I do for a living? I'm an engineer. Nothing to do with English, but English allowed me to learn the art and science of engineering on my own because I was a good reader. Now, when my daughter came home from school and she's excited about Miss Howards, who I don't really know, she could be a cryptocurrency pirate for all I know. But I see her through the eyes of my child, and I see a great teacher. So I'm just here to lend my support. I don't know how this works, but that's my 2 cents. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Sarah Stacy.
This is nerve-wracking. Hello, good evening, members of the board. I'm Sarah Stacy. I teach 4th grade at Altizer Elementary with all these wonderful people. I want to thank you for the opportunity for letting me speak today, and I want to lead this presentation acknowledging that we at Altizer have the utmost respect for each of you and your position here at Cabell County. So the purpose of this is to respectfully advocate for the reinstatement of parent partners. Their sudden and unexpected removal from our schools will leave a noticeable void in the support system we rely on to serve students and families. Our goal is not only to advocate for their return, but also to open a conversation about recognizing their essential contributions and ensure they're treated with fairness and respect in the future. Taking parent partners away directly hurts the support and education of our low-income families. Parent partners are more than employees. They are ambassadors of trust between our schools and the community. Their ability to build relationships with families who feel disconnected, who feel marginalized by the education system, has been one of their greatest strengths. For many families, especially those new to the area, new to the school system, parent partners are the first people they feel comfortable speaking to, and this role encourages a culture of inclusion and collaboration. So let me give you some examples that they've done for the community. Parent partners organize Christmas presents for families in need and deliver it to each house. They plan Thanksgiving food baskets or meals to families who are struggling. They organize the donations of free Halloween costumes for families that cannot afford it. They serve as a confidential, compassionate point of contact for parents in crisis or those navigating poverty, housing instabilities, or trauma. Example is they made sure the bills were paid for families through our Toyota ball grant. They help plan, set up major staff events like Santa's Workshop, which Altizer does not do for a fundraiser. We do it just purely, we break even. We do it for the kids as a learning tool and to give. It's the season to give. They set up book fairs, back to school nights, open houses, distribute our foods for our low-income families called Backpack Kids. They lead or assist our required Title family engagement events, such as literacy nights, math nights, GSA scavenger hunt review, family game nights, carnivals, school celebrations that build culture and connection. They make home visits or personalized phone calls to build trust with hard-to-reach families. They oversee our clothing closet for students who can come in with holes in their shirts, too small clothing, or even shoes that are broken down. They're in charge of all of our parent volunteers. Our school, unfortunately, has not been able to find a PTO or an LSIC president that has not been a staff member / parent. So that is all my time. Thank you so much.
Alex Pannell.
Hello, board members. I am also here to speak on behalf of the parent partner position that was let go. I'm just going to kind of give an overview of their role. So parent partners serve as a vital link between our schools and the families we serve. Their primary responsibility is to foster consistent and supportive communication between educators and parents, especially for families who may face barriers such as language differences, work schedules, lack of transportation, or unfamiliarity with the school system. They are often the first point of contact for families during difficult situations such as chronic absenteeism, academic concerns, or behavioral issues. Parent partners help bridge the gap by attending meetings, making home visits, and offering resources that strengthen the home-school connection. They play a unique and multifaceted role that no other school position directly covers, and they do so with compassion, discretion, and cultural awareness.
Megan Carter.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm also speaking on behalf of the parent partners. Over the last few years, I've had the privilege of working at Explorer Academy and Altizer and seen firsthand the impact of the parent partners in both school communities. The presence of parent partners has had a positive and far-reaching impact on title school climates specifically. These individuals are often members of the community the school is located in and are very invested in the students, families, and school well-being beyond a typical job. These individuals support student success by holding parent events, managing clothing closets, organizing food bags, helping with in-school events, reinforcing attendance incentives, and promoting consistent follow-up with students in need. Teachers and administrators consistently report higher rates of family engagement and improved behavior in students who have had a regular supportive relationship with a parent partner. In many cases, their work have prevented students from falling through the cracks by ensuring that the families stay connected and involved in the educational process and get the support they need when they're going through a specifically difficult time. Beyond the data, parent partners contribute to a sense of safety and community within our schools. They are trusted adults loved by the kids and the adults. They work behind the scenes to ensure that no one is overlooked. With elementary schools losing full-time counselors and parent partners, Title I schools and students are really going to suffer this upcoming year. Our families will feel disconnected and essential supports will not be provided to our students. This position of parent partner is unique not because of one job title or narrow duty, but because it combines relationship building, resource coordination, event planning, and frontline family support into one vital role. Their work allows teachers and administrators to focus on instruction and leadership while ensuring that no family is left behind. And we have some testimonies from our parent partners that were provided earlier. Thank you.
Thank you.
Addie Rucker.
I assume you know what I'm here to talk about, but hello, Board of Education. My name is Adelaide Rucker, and I go to Huntington Middle School. I'm in 7th grade, and I'm here to talk today to talk about your choice to transfer my Advanced English Language Arts teacher, Jennifer Sowards. As the Board of Education, you should know the effect that changing a teacher can have on students. It can affect their academic performance, their overall health, and the money that could improve our education. I have firsthand experience of how changing teachers every year can affect someone. I've had different teachers almost every year since pre-K. But my current teacher has helped me and my class in every rough patch. Sorry, I can't talk today. She's kind and caring, she's funny and sarcastic, and I trust her. Still, when I saw her crying when I went to interview her for our school newspaper, it broke my heart that she wouldn't be teaching me next year because you transferred her to get someone new. I know that the only person some students can talk to is a teacher they trust. I trust all my teachers, but I won't see them all next year except Miss Sowards. If you build a strong connection to a teacher and they left, you may not know how to talk to the new teacher or ask questions, which could affect your grade. I had a different tag teacher last year who did things completely differently from my current one. It was extremely hard to adjust to, lowering my grade at one point, but now I'm adjusted to it. Yet you want to endanger our grades by having someone trained with other students who may not even know us? Hiring a teacher who is not experienced in middle school teaching could be more expensive, but it could also cost more because you'd have to pay to train them in a new class when training could be free with a not quite as experienced teacher. After all, they would learn with the class. Sure, you could say if we hire a more experienced teacher, you would have a better learning experience. Though you could be right. Would you want to take the risk of having the budget drained from a teacher that would require more for less or less for more? In conclusion, do the pros outweigh the cons? If so, do you want to take the risk of things that could harm both your schools and the students? Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes delegations.
All right, thank you. We'll go ahead and move on to Section 3, Board Member Comments. Do you have any board member comments at this time?
Well, I have some questions about what we've just heard. So I'll start with the teacher. Was she one of the career ed teachers?
No, if we're going to discuss a specific individual, we probably need to, do we need to go into special? Yes, we should not discuss that in open.
Okay, so then,
But no, she was not a career ed teacher.
okay. So I would like to discuss that in executive session, but before I do that, I would like to ask about these parent partners. So was there a parent partner at every single school, every single elementary school? How did that work?
I'm going to defer to Ms. Watts because I believe those are all in title schools and those are utilized through Title I budgets, which I know it sounds awful. I'm responsible for them, make sure they spend them correctly, but I don't have any say in how they utilize that fund.
So parent partners are in all Title I schools. Some Title I schools have gotten 2 parent partners. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. So through federal government, to the date, we do not have our allocations. We're foreseeing a cut with federal funds. And so at the time, our goal is to try to maintain the academic staff within our title schools. So the decision has been made. They are a part-time employee that every year we decide whether or not we're going to keep them for the next year. So they do not get put on the RIF or transfer list. There is a decision, and at this point, we do not have funding. We have not received our Title I funding for next year, but it's looking like we will suffer a cut, and that was something that our first goal is to keep academic teachers in place.
Traditionally, when is that funding seeing?
Traditionally, we have it in March.
Oh,
And so
So our first indication, we had a conversation, we were concerned that it might be like a 20% budget cut. We don't think that's going to be the case now. It could be and we don't know yet, but we think it could be somewhere between 7 to 10%, but we really do not have the number yet, and we have not been given a budget for next year yet.
And so several of our
Maybe, but we just don't know yet.
we don't know. And so several of our Title I schools, because we tried to prepare for some cuts, did put teachers on the transfer list. So if they get enough funding back, they can rescind those and bring those teachers back.
including parent partners.
Well, that will be something that we'll have to look at and work with the State Department of Ed, because we are like the only county that has still employed parent partners. The State Department has encouraged that school leadership teams take the role of parent and family engagement.
Okay, so to review, that's been a part-time position.
Yes.
On a year-long.
A year-to-year basis.
Contract. And that was paid for wholly through Title I money. And we haven't received Title I money. It's March, it's May, and that usually comes through in March. And we're anticipating a cut between maybe 8 and 20%, maybe, we don't know.
8 to 10.
We're hopeful at this point because they drew back last week, I believe.
Last week.
She went to a meeting. They drew back from the 20%, and now it's somewhere between like 7 or 8 to 10. But we really don't know yet.
Who's they?
Well, she went to a state meeting.
The Department of Education.
And
with
what
the West
they're
Virginia.
hearing from
the federal government.
From the federal government.
These funds come straight from the
is
federal
we're-
government.
It
Yes.
looks like maybe it's going to be 8 to 10
Yes.
cuts. And we don't know if that's going to allow educators to be rehired, and we don't know about parent partners.
So we have a tentative budget that we try to project based on the school ranking orders. So within that, there is requirements that we have to have 10% held out for staff development and 1% countywide for family and community engagement activities. And then it's strongly encouraged that the majority of Title I funds is used for academic support to support student instruction.
So that's why teachers are the first priority on that funding.
Yes.
Okay.
And so we have guidelines that we have to follow to meet federal regulations.
And I want to say thank you to the Kaiser staff for coming in support of your parent partners.
It is nice to see them all out, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And I will say, we have wonderful parent partners. That is not an easy task. They work very hard for our schools, and I met with them personally because I felt like I needed to go ahead and tell them now what the funding looked like. I didn't want them to have any surprises when we did not post the jobs. So, and that's kind of how we stand right now. Until we get the funding, we can't make any more decisions.
So you all did understand it was through funding, through Title I funding not coming through. It's not just that Cabell County is mean. Or budget poor.
Any other board member comments? I just wanted to give a shout out to some of the teachers at Barbers Hill Middle, Mr. Akers, Miss Ball, Mr. Kerr, and Miss Smalley. I also had the opportunity to go to their performance of The Little Mermaid this weekend, and they always do such a fantastic job. I mean, they put a lot of time and effort. The kids obviously put in a lot of time and effort, but these three teachers put in a lot of extra time and effort that isn't required of them, and they do a great job. So just wanted to say that.
I have one other thing.
Sure.
So at the last meeting, we talked about having a committee of community members for looking at a time change for secondary schools. That would be middle and high school. So we talked about having a committee formed of community members, of educators, and service personnel within the county. And so that meeting has been, initial meeting has been set, and that will be Tuesday, June 3rd. That is one of the professional development or in-service days that the county has. It will be the last day of the in-service or professional development days. And so Ms. Watts and Mr. Hardesty looked at the schedule and what's already on the table for training. And it looks like anybody who would like to come to that meeting, anybody who wants to share their thoughts or wants to be a part of organizing this or just sharing their concerns is invited. And that will be, again, Tuesday, June 3rd at 2:30. My understanding is that staff would be released at 2 o'clock for getting to the meeting. It'll be 2:30 here in this room.
That's correct. We'll allow them to leave the training that they're in and come here. If we have more than we can fit here, we can spill over into the auditorium, quite a few seats there. And so that was 2:30, and then we have a board meeting that evening at 4:30. So we'll be sending out a notice to all the staff members too to explain that to them.
Great, thank you.
I just wanted to say too, along with that, there I think was some consternation among some people in the public about that being a public meeting held at 2:30. But the reason it was held at 2:30 is because it was a training day for our staff and faculty, and so in order for them to if they wanted to be a part of it, that was the reason for that time.
And we finished?
Yes.
And future meetings will be more accommodating to people who are working in the community.
And I think that's a really good point, because it was an opportunity for our employees during their work time to be able to come. And I thought that's what the intent was when you'd requested that. And that way they don't have to take that evening after being in training all day. But yes, further ones, whatever you decide, but it gives them an opportunity to be here if they choose to.
Okay. Any other comments or workshop requests at this time? If not, we'll move on to Section 4, the consent agenda. We've heard about several of the items listed there. We do have the one policy update that's on third reading and passage, just dealing with bingo.
President Polly, may I bring something up? And Mr. Boggs was on talking about 4.05 Hazlett construction change order.
Yes.
As we know, McKinley Architecture is the one who built the building. If you look at Milton Elementary, it's absolutely one of the prettiest elementary schools I think I've ever seen. It's beautiful, sitting where it's at, the design of the building. I had a really good conversation yesterday with Mr. Delatorre from McKinley, and they want to help with some of the cost on that. They're going to redo the request to where part of that, where they had to move a fire panel or a junction panel or whatever it was, to help us out with that cost to about $10,000. So I thank them. I thank them for helping us through the project. Certainly appreciate that. Thank Mr. Boggs and the team, Mr. McMillan, for all of their work. Hazlett Construction, because at the end of the day, we have a facility in Milton that will serve kids now for 50+ years, and it's absolutely a beautiful facility, and it's really nice to see that. So I want to thank them and just let the board know about that.
So the $54,000, they're going to help out with about 10,000, or that's what that number is?
Correct. The reason we left the 54,000 on there is because we don't know if it's going to be just like a rebate back, or they're going to just send another change order for 44. We don't know that yet, so we left the total on there.
Okay.
So our costs will be up to that, and then we'll get some help from McKinley to pay for that.
Gotcha. And we also had a few trip requests on there as well. Unless there are any questions or comments or concerns on any of those items, we can go to 4.18, which is approval of the consent agenda, and I would take a motion for approval.
So moved.
All right, we have the motion And a second. All in favor of approval of the consent agenda signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? No, the motion carries. That'll take us to section 5 of the financial. We have the treasurer's report. Mr. Rotkin.
Thank you, President Polly. Good evening, board members. For tonight, we've got the April treasurer's report and April vouchers payable, but the main item on the financial section of the agenda is adoption of the FY26 budget. If you'll recall, we had a meeting about 2 weeks ago where we thoroughly went through it. You know, I've not heard any changes, anything from the state or anything to change the numbers. So what's being presented to you this evening is exactly the same as you received at the work session at the beginning of the month. So I just kind of stand here for any questions you guys might have, or other than that, I would ask for approval of the budget.
Have any questions for Mr. Rotkin at this time? No?
Thank
All right, thank you, sir. So we'll just move to 5.04, which is approval of the financial items, which will include the treasurer's report, the vouchers payable for April, and the adoption of the FY26 operating budget. So if nothing else, I'll take a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Neely has moved, Mr. Abess has seconded. All in favor of approval of the financial items signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. And we'll move on to section 6, which is personnel. Okay, sure. Yeah. I saw that. Gotcha.
I'm going to have to recuse on that.
In service. Okay. All righty.
President Polly,
Yes, sir.
and I apologize for the interruption. There are, I think Ms. Childers had a question about a particular employee that may impact how you vote on this, may not, but I would like to have the opportunity to answer any questions you might have before you consider a vote. So if you wanted to go into executive session over that, but there also, you may want to add 6.03 and 6.04.
Yes.
Which are administrative leaves. That way we could do all three of those items at the same time, then come back out,
Okay.
if you choose to.
Yeah, I will just go ahead and make a motion that we enter executive session for personnel items, including 6.03 and 6.04, and then a question on another personnel-related matter.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have the second by Mr. Abess. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries, and we're in executive session. Need a motion to return to open session?
So moved.
All right, moved by Ms. Neely, seconded by Mr. Abess. All in favor of returning to open session signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? No, we're back in open session. And we're in the Personnel Section 6. And we have a couple of board members who need to recuse themselves for a couple of different items. So if you guys want to step out, we'll pull those items and vote on them first, and then we'll handle the rest of it. Thank you.
Go now.
Yeah. All right, we'll start on page 14, 5197-P, and job number P1007, which is Jennifer Abess, for Explorer Academy grades 1, 2 in the 25-26 school year. So, a motion for that one? Okay, we have a motion for approval.
Second.
A second. All in favor of approval of Jennifer Abess, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. All right, then we're on page 26. And it's under 5145S, SMA 25001, which is 8 of 10, Mark Neely, Village of Barbersville Elementary, extended school year special aid, halftime employment. Just need a motion for approval.
Make a motion that we accept the appointment of Mark Neely.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of approval of Mark A. Neely, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. It passes.
Is that her son?
We talked about everybody out there.
Page.
Did we whisper enough?
All right, so now we have 6.01, the professional personnel minus the one that we already voted on. I would just take a motion for approval of the remainder of that section, 6.01.
President Polly, I apologize. Can you include the changes that were made earlier?
Yes, sir. All right, so 6.01, including the noted changes, talking about the list that you gave us.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so we have a motion for approval of 6.01, including the changes that were noted earlier and minus Jennifer Abess that we have already voted on. We have a second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor of approval of 6.01 minus Jennifer Abess in addition, and with the changes noted earlier, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. 6.02, which is the service personnel. Which is starts on page 23. So we have 6.02 minus Mark A. Neely that we've already voted on, and with the changes, any changes that were noted earlier. Do we have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion,
I'll second.
and we have a second. All in favor of approval of 6.02 minus Mark A. Neely with the corrections we had earlier, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Motion carries. All right, Mr. Hardest, do you have a?
I do, President Polly. On 6.03, administrative leave for professional personnel, I recommend that the board ratify the administrative leave of Robin Moses with pay that began April 17th, 2025, and will continue until a resolution is reached.
Okay, you've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of the superintendent's recommendation on 6.03 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
President Polly, for 6.04 administrative leave for service personnel, I recommend that the board ratify the administrative leave of Shonda Hensley with pay that began April 21st, 2025, and will continue until a resolution is reached.
All right, we've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll move.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Abess. Seconded by Ms. Smalley. All in favor of approval of the superintendent's recommendation signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. And that takes us to Section 7, special board items. I don't think we have any special board items today. Do we have any update in current legal issues? No update on current legal issues. So all we have left is adjournment. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. All in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We're adjourned at 6:39 PM.